Hey there, folks. The Scottsdale Travel Chick sidekick here to present our visitor guide to Isla Holbox in Mexico. In this video, we'll cover the top things to see and do, along with details on how to get there, the best times to visit, and we'll tell you the good and bad of Holbox Island. If you're looking for a remote Riviera Maya destination, known for beautiful beaches in a casual, laid-back little town, then Isla Holbox might just be for you. But don't think it's paradise, and it's certainly not going to be for everyone. We'll tell you more in this video. Okay, let's go. First up, just a bit of background on Isla Holbox. Isla Holbox is a remote island on the north coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. The only way to get there is by way of a 2-hour transit from either Cancun or Playa del Carmen areas to the port of Chiquila, and then a ferry to the island itself. Holbox is part of the larger Yumbalam Nature Preserve, which limits larger resort and attraction development in this area. So Isla Holbox is quite small, but it is the biggest vacation option you will see in this northern Yucatan area. Up until about 10 years ago, Isla Holbox was a relatively untouched island with beautiful beaches and a small uncrowded town. Today, however, it's been discovered, and that means it is now a much more trendy place to visit, particularly for the younger, hipster, and bohemian crowd. People who have already tried Tulum or Isla Mujeres often want to check out Isla Holbox as their next step. To that point, and for comparison, you might want to check out our highly rated visitor guides for Isla Mujeres and Tulum, as well as Playa del Carmen and Cozumel too, so you can get a feel for Isla Holbox here compared to other top destinations along the Riviera Maya. How to get there and how to get around. Most folks interested in visiting Holbox quickly realize it's not the easiest destination to get to. As I mentioned, getting to the ferry port itself will take you at least 2 hours from either Cancun or Playa del Carmen areas. And then there's a 20-minute ferry crossing, which may take you another hour unless you time things just perfect. Then there's another 15 to 20 minutes to your hotel. The ferry is unavoidable but cheap and runs every 30 minutes or so. But to get to the ferry, you'll have to decide between 3 choices. The first is the ADO bus, and it's probably the best overall option of getting to Isla Holbox. These buses are the easiest, cheapest, and most comfortable way of getting there. If you've never taken an ADO bus, you're in for a surprise. They're not shabby buses like you might have in your mind, but newer high-end buses with nice seats, good AC, free Wi-Fi, and even TV screens. The cost is only about $12 to $15 depending on the booking load of the bus you select. You can check the ADO website or their phone app for precise timetables and pricing. The next most convenient option is a shared or private shuttle, and you can find many sites like Viator.com or Booking.com to make your booking and reservation. The cost for a shared ride is about $45, or you can book a private shuttle for up to 4 people for $160. Finally, the most expensive option to get there is renting a car, and it's the least convenient too, as you can't take cars onto the island and you'll have to pay to park it in a parking lot at the ferry pier. Finally, for those who want a quick visit and everything organized for you, one can also book a day trip to Holbox from anywhere along the Riviera Maya. The cost will be around $125 to $150, and it's a long day, starting around 7 a.m. in the morning and finishing around 5, 6, or 7 p.m. at night. And you'll get only a short taste of the island, and you really won't truly experience it, particularly early morning or evening dining and nightlife. But hey, if that's the option for you, go for it. Once you're on Holbox, how do you get around? Well, let's start by saying walking is not the best option.
This is the main road in Isla Holbox.
The best beaches, the ferry pier, and the town center are often separated by a 10, 15, or even a 40-minute walk. So we'd recommend at least renting a bike, if not an ATV or a golf cart. Bicycle rentals are plentiful and typically cost around 200 to 250 Mexican pesos a day, or around 10 to 12 bucks. Golf carts are another option, and they're around 800 pesos or $50 for around 24 hours. Finally, there are taxis on the island, but they don't look like taxis. You actually see them all over the place, and they're either quads or golf carts. So those are pretty cool. If you have to take a taxi, that's the way to do it. When to visit. Similar to other places along the Riviera Maya, the best time to visit Isla Holbox is during the winter season from December to April. During this time, there is little to no rainfall, and the temperatures are close to perfect. The rainy season is typically between May and October, which also sees higher temperatures and humidity. Of course, the plus side to visiting Isla Holbox during these months is there will be fewer tourists and lower prices. And for what it's worth, we actually like coming during this less busy times, particularly June and October.
Yes.
Perhaps the most important thing to consider about timing is the increasingly difficult sargassum or seaweed issue. It's become a really big deal these days all along the Riviera Maya. So if you're coming to experience pristine beaches, you might be in for a surprise. Sargassum is a type of seaweed which inundates the waters and beaches here during the warmer months of the season, and it used to be from around April through October. But due to the warming ocean waters and increased chemical runoff from commercial farming, it's getting to be a longer season and much worse when it does happen.
You believe in global warming or not, but it's a growing trend. When the water gets warmer, all this stuff washes up. The water's still beautiful, but the beaches are a mess. Some places clean them up, and others don't. Here we just have a opening. We have to walk through this junk to get out there, and then it'll be okay.
You can check out our separate short video on this issue if you want to learn more. Where to stay? Okay, let's talk a bit about where to stay. All the lodging options are close, either in the town or along the northern beach area, and you'll have a good mix of options from hostels all the way up to nicer beach resorts. I'm not going to give you specific recommendations, so just take your budget and do your research. But do note our pro tip here that many properties, particularly the bigger ones on the east side of the island, are not directly on the beach, but are actually separated from the beach by a beach road. So be aware of that when you book. What to see and do. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's get to the top things to see and do in and around Holbox. First up, it's important to note that people come here to get away. So you can't avoid the point that Isla Holbox is quite isolated. Outside of various beach, water, and nightlife activities, there's not a lot to do. So if you're expecting Mayan ruins, big dance clubs, and large water parks, you're better off staying somewhere else. I guess it's no surprise, but the biggest thing to do on Isla Holbox is to simply chill out on a beach. If you like being a beach bum, then this place is probably for you. All the beaches are more or less along the north side of the island. You can swim, walk the beach, experience a beautiful sunrise or sunset, or just chill out at one of the many local beach clubs and restaurants. However, don't forget that seaweed problem I mentioned earlier. The water is beautiful, calm, and clear here, but there's a good chance your beachfront experience on Holbox will not look like those perfect Instagram shots you see on the internet. Beyond the beach itself, there are a multitude of water-related tours for you to consider. There's fishing trips, snorkel tours, island and cenote tours, and even whale shark tours in season. They're all available, so just stop in at one of the many shops around town, negotiate your best deal, and you'll quickly be on your way. No need to book something in advance. Related to those tours, I'll mention 2 islands nearby which are also almost always on their list: Passion Island and Bird Island. Passion Island is a really shallow island / sandbar where group tours go, and it's good for Instagram pics. Bird Island is the other island, and it's filled with migratory birds in their natural habitat, and there's a walkway and a tower to view them all. Depending on the night, you can also experience a bioluminescent bay. It's on the west end of the island, and there are tours that go, but make sure to pick one that's cancelable and make sure you pick the right night. Otherwise, you'll probably be disappointed. Finally, just explore the island. Rent a bike or a golf cart and just dink around the island from the east side to the west side. There's lots of cool places just to chill out with a drink. Our last section here is just a tiny bit on Holbox's dining and nightlife scene. Usually we make a couple of recommendations in this section, but for Isla Holbox, I'll just give you a general feel for things. Most nightlife centers around chilling out with a nice dinner along with some smaller live music options. There are some cool bars and rooftop options as well, but there's no large thumping nightlife scene like other areas along the Riviera Maya. So we just suggest you wander around the downtown, find a nice casual meal, and maybe catch some live music after that. And call it a relatively early night, at least compared to the typical night in Cancun or Playa del Carmen. Well, there you have it, folks, our visitor guide to Isla Holbox. We hope you enjoyed. Did we miss any of your favorites, or do you have a secret tip you'd like to share? If so, please let us know in the comments section below, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more fun, informative travel videos just like this one.
Until next time, see you later.